Hello and welcome back, one and all. We are here today to discuss class changes, but specifically with Archpaladin. If you're new around here, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and leaving the video with a like. So let's go through what the changes are and then have a look at some gameplay. So a long time meta bosser and monster debuffer adjusted to play more effectively, actively and involved. Now stacks its main suppression far faster, but has reduced limits, heal made more consistent. DPS has been drastically increased and several other quality of life changes as well. So this really has been tweaked, mainly because of ultra bosses. Pretty much every single team comp up until this date has used Archpaladin in there, and that isn't going to change. Generally speaking, the only class you'd ever swap Arch out for would be Lightcaster, but that doesn't happen all that often, and most people do generally just run Archpaladin. But let's talk about Commandant. So this one now applies a minus 10% dodge and defense, and also does minus 5% damage dealt, crit chance and hit chance per stack, and that goes up to 6 stacks, lasting 10 seconds. It's worth saying they've also removed the damage over time from that skill. Him with light targets increased to 7, heal reduced but always crits, and the aura duration has been increased to 15 seconds. Then we've got Righteous Seal. So this one has been changed to 1 target, cooldown changed to 25 seconds, mana cost reduced to 20, and now stuns undead enemies for 3 seconds. Righteous Seal aura effect changed to minus 90% damage dealt and lasts for 7 seconds. Then finally we've got Sacred Magic, the biggest change here. Eden based damage drastically increased and no longer scales off damage over time. Cooldown reduced to 25 seconds, mana cost reduced to 40. Now does double damage when Righteous Seal is present and also consumes it. Additionally, no longer applies extortion, and crucially, it no longer consumes Commandant / Divine or stuns the undead, because of course the stun's been moved onto your Righteous Seal. Don't forget, Sacred Magic did have a lot of other effects it applies, so do go back and pause if you'd like to read them all, but I wasn't just going to wrap them all off one by one. However, crucially, let's take a look at how this class is now actually performing. It does mean with the way the mechanics have now changed, suddenly using your 5th skill isn't actually the end of the world, as you're no longer taking away your Commandant stack, but during your challenge fights, do just keep in the back of your mind that Righteous Seal does reduce the damage that your foe deals by 90% for those 7 seconds. So if you are going to use your 5th skill, just make sure you don't do it when the challenge boss is about to go full send mode on you, really, and then you'll be absolutely fine. Damage wise, of course, we've had the DPS increase, so we're not going to be moaning around that point, and as far as defeating Ultra Ezrajal went, it went as normal as expected, and that should be the same for basically every single challenge fight that is in game currently. Again, soloing Archpaladin is still a great class for this. There are better alternatives out there, but when you start using a damage boosting weapon, which you'll see in a minute when I go absolutely ham on him with the Blinding Light, you do get some really nice numbers coming up pretty consistently. I have no idea why my Blinding Lights have started doing this. I swear to you they were not doing this before, but I am just absolutely pounding the boss with however you want to describe that pumping motion I'm doing, which is absolutely lovely. However, back onto the more serious topic of solo DPS, you can see, yes, you do get the big critters out there when you hit your 5th skill, but even saying that, your second ability certainly isn't lacking too much either. I was hitting 15k pretty much every single shot for some time during this battle, so it did get us up to around the average of 6,000 to 7,000 damage done over a few seconds, so that was great to see. PvP, again, if you miss your nuke, you're not going to do too well, especially against dodge classes, because you will run out of mana with Archpaladin, which can be ever so slightly annoying. I'm not going to show you many different battles here, just the one, because generally you're not going to be whipping this one out in the PvP arena. And yes, as you'll notice, although it does appear to go quite well at a certain point in this, dealing 8k damage, we did end up losing this long fought battle that took ever such a long time to actually get through. But you know what, it was vaguely enjoyable. It was nice to have a target not running around. Not that that would have mattered with Arch anyway, with it being range skills, but there you go. Chaos Shaper has also had some changes to the class. I will do a review on that one soon. This was not a review video, as you can tell, but if I was to give Arch a rating, it would be S for support, and then everything else would probably just bung it roughly into that A tier bracket. Although supposedly the heal on this was meant to have been nerfed, it hasn't really caused any major problems. You're still healing 3,000 plus to all your teammates, and that's usually a higher number anyway, so I wouldn't worry about that one in general. But that's about all the touch on Archpaladin. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and of course subscribe, and I'll see you again next time for another one. So until then, have a lovely day.